The Scarecrow is probably one of Batman's most popular villains. He rarely gets used. He's only in 5 movies, counting animated ones and the Lego ones. But he has a bunch of fans, and I do think he is one of the most popular villains. And depending on the day, he's probably my favorite Batman villain. But among the Scarecrow fans, there's one interpretation that people don't like. The most popular one, probably. The Nolan verse one, from the Dark Knight trilogy. And I used to be one of the people who didn't like him either. Until just recently when I rewatched the whole trilogy in one sitting, because I have nothing else to do with my life. And I have decided that this Scarecrow is actually perfect. He's awesome. I love him so much. He's so cool. So first I want to start off with what I think is what makes Scarecrow Scarecrow, and what I like about Scarecrow, and why I like Scarecrow and why he's one of my favorite villains. Every Scarecrow needs to be scary. He's named after that fact. He's a spooky guy, with usually a Halloween vibe to him, because he's a scarecrow. He's usually smart, because he's a doctor, sometimes a therapist, but he's usually something like that. He's usually pretty extra, he screams a lot, he really likes his vibe, he has a big ego. He's also very interested in Batman. Sometimes he views Batman as a patient. He wants to analyze Batman, because usually Batman is the only thing that he's actually scared of. Because Scarecrow is also very much interested in fear, and he wants to conquer fear, and use fear as a weapon, because he's the Scarecrow. But then he's also terrified of Batman. And when he doesn't have Batman drugged up and he doesn't have the upper hand, he's a coward. That's what I like in Scarecrow. You might disagree, but I think that's the most important aspects of Scarecrow. And I think Nolan's Scarecrow does all of these things perfectly. First of all, the Scarecrow is scary. Multiple times you see worms and bats crawling out of his face. And his voice is pretty spooky.
Take a seat, have a drink. You look like a man who takes himself too seriously. Do you want my opinion? You need to lighten up.
And he's definitely smart. He's a therapist in this universe, I'm pretty sure. And he even tricks people into thinking Carmine Falcone is insane, because he kind of makes him insane. And he's definitely very extra in these movies. He rides on a fire-breathing horse while screaming on about fear right before he gets tased and runs away. And Nolan's Scarecrow is definitely interested in Batman. He's obsessed with Batman. During their second interaction, I think, Scarecrow is safe. Scarecrow is hiding. Batman doesn't see him. Batman's beating up all of his henchmen, but Scarecrow could run away easily. But Scarecrow's just staring at Batman, admiring him. And he goes to punch Batman just because I think he wants to be part of the fight, because he's so interested in Batman. And he kind of gets his arm broken and gets sent to prison. He risked it all just to fight Batman. He loves Batman so much. And in the second movie, he tried luring out the Batman. And you can see how disappointed he is when the fake Batman showed up.
That's not him.
And how excited he is when the real Batman shows up.
That's more like it.
He loves Batman so much. Then this Scarecrow is also terrified of Batman, even if he loves him. This is best shown in the first movie, when he gets fear toxined by Batman. He's just in shock. He can't talk anymore. He's just in shock. And he tells Batman that his leader is Ra's al Ghul. He tells him everything that Batman needs to know. He's terrified. And when he got tased, that showed how scared he was too. I think that scene showed Scarecrow's personality really well. He was all extra until he just got tased and then he ran away crying. That is my Scarecrow, right there. That's my boy. I also think Christopher Nolan's Scarecrow has a perfect character arc that you could track throughout the movies. At the start of Batman Begins, he's doing his mischief. He just made his mask, it seems like, and he's scaring people with it. And he has a fear toxin. But he's only doing all that for money from Ra's al Ghul, I'm pretty sure. And he's just a henchman, basically. Until he meets Batman. That's when I think he becomes a supervillain. Because that's when he tries actually fighting Batman. After he gets beat by Batman, I think that's when he adopts the name of Scarecrow. In this time when he just keeps saying the name Scarecrow, Scarecrow, Scarecrow. I think that's when the cogs were turning in his head and he became the Scarecrow. Then at the end of Batman Begins, he rode on his fire-breathing horse, trying to scare everyone in Gotham City, just for the love of the game. There was no point in doing that. He already did his job. He's just doing this for the love of the game now. Then in Dark Knight, he's doing crime just to lure out Batman. And I already talked about this, but you can see how disappointed he is when the fake Batmans come up, and how happy he is when the real Batman shows up. He is obsessed with Batman now, and he is a supervillain. Then in Dark Knight Rises, he gets elected, I think, as the judge of Gotham. I don't know who put him in this power. From what Bane was saying, it seems like Gotham, all of the crazy civilians there would have put him in power. Or maybe Bane did. But like, who chose this guy? I just think it's funny because this guy, he's insane. Who put him there? This guy is a criminal. They elected a criminal who's also just insane to be in a significant position of power. Like, that is just bonkers, honestly. Originally, it's supposed to be Joker, and honestly, I think in this universe, Scarecrow is more insane than Joker. Because Joker's a planner. That was the whole reveal of The Dark Knight. He says that he's like a dog chasing tires and that he doesn't plan anything. But then his final speech about how he has an ace in the hole, he's a planner. He just doesn't admit it because he was trying to just get to Harvey Dent. He's smart, he's a schemer, he's a planner, he's all of that. But Scarecrow, this guy just does things, I think. He just punched Batman for fun. And he got his arm broken. He did not think. He lured out Batman in The Dark Knight, got beat up, just for fun, I think, because he likes Batman and he didn't really think about anything. He just does things for the love of the game. He's insane. He doesn't care. And that's why I love him so much. His only problem, really, is his design. I feel like what I would usually want in a Scarecrow design is he needs to wear red or orange, or a warm color like that, a tan like bag over his head, the noose around his neck usually, and the big gold brown hat. That's what I want in Scarecrow. This might be a hot take, but the design in Arkham Knight, I didn't like it. He was good in Arkham Knight before I got sidelined by the dead clown, but I did not like his design. And this design in the Dark Knight trilogy, it's not great. He kind of just wears whatever he was wearing before he put on the mask. It's just his normal attire, but with a mask on. And the fear toxin doesn't even make him look cool like it does in Injustice. He just looks the same, kind of. I think this design was only shown for like a couple seconds, but the design at the end of Batman Begins, I think, is pretty great. You can't really see it in the movie. I have a picture of it on screen right now. It's pretty good. It's his insane asylum uniform, but all torn up, the long sleeves, and then the mask. And I think this is a pretty good Scarecrow design, because he can't really have the hat with what they're doing in the Dark Knight trilogy. But I think this design is pretty close, and I would settle with this design. I like this design. I wish he would have worn it in his cameo in Batman, the second one, Dark Knight. And that's basically all. My conclusion is that I think the Dark Knight Scarecrow is underrated, and he's the best Scarecrow. I do know it's also underrated. Worms. Worms are beautiful creatures. There's so many different kinds of worms. There's the woolly worms. Worms are beautiful. They just found like a house-sized one in like Antarctica or something. Do you know that? And I think we need to all accept that worms are the primary species in this world and that humans are nothing. And that's all. Goodbye.